Hey everybody, welcome back. I wanted to go over something that happened this Monday. Monday, I think it was February 25th, something like that. I know I said I was going to go in like sequential order. I was going to try to anyway. But some stuff kind of happened and kind of was like, oh, I need to put this out there real quick just because, and I need it while it's fresh in my mind. Um, Pretty much, my wife and I, we had Bible study Monday. We went from there to about 6 p.m. until about 8. We got home about 8:30, 8:45, and we ended up, sitting up, relaxing, nothing going on, before we went to bed, kind of winding down a little bit. So we hadn't had anything happen. Max was great, no issues. We went ahead and went to bed about anywhere from 10:15, and everything seemed fine at first. And then about 15 minutes after we went to bed, Max started barking and making his little noise. And I'm like, what is going on now? I figured maybe it was the air conditioning unit cutting on, the heater cutting on and off, because it's not quite cold here in Virginia. It's kind of hot and cold certain days. So that, at some points it just cuts on and then 2 seconds later it cuts off. So that kind of bothers him, the constant noise of it turning off and on and off. So I thought that's what it was. I let him go ahead and keep doing that for about 5 minutes, and I was like, dude, you need to be quiet. He kept doing it. I thought, okay, well, maybe it's a car going by. See, we're right by a road, and I thought maybe that's what was bothering him. I listened. If the planes were going by, the airport's not that far. Maybe he'd get flustered by that. It wasn't that. And we have 3 fans going in the bedroom. We have one above us, and then one on each side of our bed. And so it's a lot of noise, a lot of ambient noise going on, white noise, just noise. So you can't really hear a lot. And then he just kept on at it. And I was like, finally, I was like, dude, you need to shut up. I need to go to sleep. And my wife nudged me. She was like, you hear what he's barking at? I was like, no. She goes, listen. And you can hear the growling. And I was like, what? And I shut my mouth and listened. And sure enough, you could hear it on a low, but it was audible. I heard it once I started listening, and it was that same growl with different pitch. It wasn't very loud, though. It was just loud enough for him to hear it and get upset about it. She told me later that she had heard some moaning preceding that. I didn't hear that. Once again, all that ambient sound, the white noise from the fans going and cars going by and just the regular night sounds, I didn't hear any of that, but I did hear the growling. So even though I heard it, I once again didn't want to give it any weight. So I was just like, hey, let it go. It's nothing. Don't worry about it. And it stopped, and we went to sleep. It just bothered me because we, haven't been having any incidents lately. Nothing really going crazy, other than a while back, like I said, my wife saw that figure standing on my side of the bed. But that figure was a white figure, like a white light, a white being, or whatever you want to call it. So I wasn't too concerned because it wasn't dark. And, I don't know, it bothered me, hearing that growling again. And her saying she heard the moaning. That's one thing I needed to talk about too. On this past Friday, my wife was not home. She called me. She was on her way home from work. It was about 5 p.m. And she called me and was like, hey, I'm on my way. So I was like, oh boy, I sat there and I was supposed to do the dishes and I didn't get them done. So I was like, okay, I'll wait for her to call me. She's got 30 minutes to get here so I can do the dishes in like 10 minutes. So I procrastinated till the last second. So I got up and ran in there to do the dishes and start supper. And I had no TV on. I had no noise in the house. Max and I were sitting in the other room. I was reading. So we had no lights on. It was still light outside. And, I'm doing the dishes. So I got the frying pan going, you hear the grease cooking. So that's kind of loud. And then I had the water pouring down from the faucet real loud. And, I'm sitting there doing the dishes. And then all of a sudden I hear this noise. And it's like the TV is on. And you can hear talking, like somebody talking, like a female talking. And I'm like, oh, well, Dawn must be home. She, popped in, and she's talking to Max because he started barking. He was barking, rah, rah, rah. You know, I was like, oh, he either saw a squirrel or a car go by. He liked to sit out the window and watch all the buses and cars drive through the neighborhood. It's a pretty busy neighborhood. And I thought that's what it was. And but I heard the talking. And then all of a sudden the talking stopped, and then I hear this moaning. And I'm not talking, you know, yeah. You have those cassette tapes or CDs now and stuff that you play at Halloween. You pop them in there and they make all those weird noises, ooh, and all that kind of stuff. That's what I heard. I heard this moaning in a female voice, lasted for about 15 seconds, and was just like real freaking loud, because I could hear it over the grease cooking. I could hear it over the water, which I had going full blast while I was washing the dishes. And I hear this moaning, and man, I froze. I wanted to go see what it was, but I didn't want to go see what it was. Max was still barking, and he stopped after a few minutes, and then it stopped too. So I was like, okay, holy moly, what was that? And this happened just this past Thursday, before this Monday thing with the growling at the foot of the bed. So I'm sitting here hearing this moaning, and, you know, 5 minutes later, here comes my wife through the door. I hear Max barking because she's walking through the door. They're playing, and I hear them talking. That was her. Big difference between what I heard before. Before, it was like a small chitter chatter that you hear on a TV that's on in another room, but it was not on. There were no lights on. There was no TV on. Nothing. That happened Thursday. And I don't know. That just kind of scared me a little bit. And then this happened on Monday. You know, I didn't know what to do. On the next morning, I asked my wife, you know, what else did you hear? She was like, I heard moaning before I heard the growling, and I tried to tell you to shut up and listen to the moaning, and it's too late. It was already gone, and I could hear the dog barking, and she didn't sleep good because her ears pricked up all night long trying to listen for something. And she was like, you know, something else happened. I'm like, what? She goes, I'm sleeping, and at my headboard, we have this huge headboard in our bedroom. And I'll show you a picture of it. Right there's the bed, the headboard, where my wife heard all the scratching. She sleeps over here on this side of the bed, and I sleep over there. Right over there is where she said she saw that figure standing, and then it dissipated into all these little balls of light, and right up to the door, just disappeared. But right here is where she heard the scratching noise behind this headboard here, and I've had this crawl sitting up there for a while, since the last time I heard the scratching. Obviously it didn't help, but anyway, there it is right there, and there's nothing. I look behind it and there's nothing there, so no scratches or anything like that. Anyway, that's that. That was it. And it's that big headboard right back there where her head was at. She said she heard the scratching noise, like right by the headboard, like some sort of creature or critter, you know, scratching at something. But it was in the room behind the headboard, right by her ears. And you know, I told her, I was like, wow. I was like, you heard it too then? She was like, what do you mean? I was like, you know, we used to sleep on the opposite sides of the bed. She would be on that end and I was on this end, and she would always turn in one direction at night. So I'm like, why? If you're always turning in this direction, why don't you just sleep on my side of the bed? That way you're facing that direction. You can have the fan blowing on you and everything's great. You could get a good night's sleep. So we switched the bed sides. But before that happened, and we switched beds, you know, within this past year, I heard that noise on that side of the bed too. I heard that scratching noise before. And the scratching noise bothered me because I'm like, wow, what is that? It's in the room. What is that noise? And it wasn't a squirrel. It wasn't anything. So I'm like, what the heck is that? And that wasn't the worst part of it, because one night also, within this past year, after I've heard all that scratching, the same scratching she heard this past, you know, Friday, I heard scratching, but it was underneath my pillow. I mean, directly underneath my freaking pillow. Like, my hand was underneath my pillow like this, and you can hear like somebody was going, and it was moving my freaking pillow right underneath my ear. And dude, I was so scared. I have no idea what that was. I jumped up, moved my pillow out of the way, and there was nothing there. And, you know, but that scratching sound and the movement of my pillow. And this happens a couple times. You know, I've heard it before. I've tried to ignore it. But like I said, with what happened this past Monday and the growling and this all starting up, you know, I didn't know what to do. And so that's why I wanted to document this, let my boys know what happened. And I went over to my mom's house on Tuesday after our church group. We met for a supper. And I told her about it and what was going on. And she's known everything that's been going on this whole time for all these years. And she didn't know what to do. And she's just like, why is this happening? I'm like, I have no clue. So she went in the closet, and being, you know, my mom, she went in the closet and pulls out, and this is funny, I'm sorry, but she goes in the closet and pulls out this little bubble wrap bag. She opens the bag up, pulls it out, there's bubble wrap in there. I'm like, oh, what is this? You know, some sort of, you know, precious glass that she's going to drop or something like that. She opens it up, pulls out 2 water bottles full of holy water that she got in California at some Catholic church, and they had holy water, blessed holy water sitting there in the thing, and people could get some and take it and do whatever. So she filled up 2 bottles while she was there on vacation. She actually had 3, but my stepdad drank the other one on the way back home thinking it was regular water. But I thought it was hilarious that she had this thing wrapped up tight in this bubble wrap, and like it was so precious. And I'm like, what is this? And she was like, it's holy water. And I was like, Mom, what am I going to do with this? You know, I don't know what to do with holy water. What am I going to do with holy water? I don't know what to do with this stuff. She gave me a nice, good-sized bottle, but I don't know what to do with it. She said I might go around and sprinkle it around and say a blessing or do whatever. I'm like, yeah, once again, I don't want to stir anything up. It's already stirred up, is what she said. She goes, it can't be stirred up any more than it already is. And she's right to a certain extent, but I don't know what else to do at this point. So I don't even like talking about it like this in the house, because I feel like, you know, something might be listening, and it bothers me too. Like, I don't want to give it any weight. I don't want it to think that I'm concerned. I don't want us to panic or get scared about this whole thing. But, you know, some days it's just harder than others. Anyway, that's what happened. I'll get back to talking about what happened years ago and leading up to all this. I just wanted to mention, because it's fresh in my mind, it just happened. Now I got this holy water, and I don't know what else to do. She's telling me to go to a Catholic church, talk to a Catholic priest. You know, like they're going to freaking believe me. You know, I've already had issues with a church down the road we tried going to, and the guy was just mean and rude, really, pretty much. And he's a foreign guy. He didn't speak very good English. It was broken English. He's like, I don't know, he's from Jamaica or somewhere. And he was mean. So he totally turned us off from that, and I sure as heck wasn't going to bring this up to him. Just going to church for the first time there, it was awful. And I'm supposed to go now to try this other place and see how that works out, but I'm still reticent about bringing anything like this up to people, because once again they think I'm freaking crazy, or, you know, I want attention or some stupid thing. I don't want to call another paranormal or investigation team in here. I don't want to do that. I don't know what to do at this point. But anyway, I'll get back to the regular stuff next time. I appreciate it. Thanks so much. Y'all have a great day. Bye.